Now to the Middle East, where Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has criticized plans by Britain to recognize Palestinian statehood unless Israel reaches a Gaza ceasefire before September. He said doing so would be a reward for Hamas and would mean the appeasement of jihadists. Earlier, Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer set out conditions that Israel must meet to avoid that happening, including allowing the UN to restart the supply of aid to Gaza to reverse the starvation crisis there. He also demanded the release of hostages by Hamas. Within Gaza itself, the Hamas-run health ministry says 7 more people have died of conditions linked to malnutrition in the last 24 hours. The announcement brings the total number of hunger-related deaths since the start of the Gaza war to 151. More than half were children. UN agencies say the international community needs to flood the territory with aid immediately, after a global hunger monitor found that famine was unfolding across the territory.
Children are dying from starvation, and it's man-made by Israel from A to Z. Every dead child is on Netanyahu. There is no other way to say it. The airdrops is really a joke. The 25 tons in one expensive airdrop, it excites diplomats and journalists because they're very photogenic, but they don't help families and aid workers to avert famine. It's 2 trucks worth one airdrop. So the whole system is too complicated as it is. It's not going to avert famine. Berlin, London, Paris, Washington, you haven't delivered what you told us. You said that there would be a change in the situation, and it's not a fundamental change unless there is a ceasefire and general access for all organizations across all border crossings. Then we can avoid a man-made, catastrophic, war, criminal famine.
Well, for his reaction and assessment of all this, I'm joined now in the studio by the Palestinian Middle East analyst, Ramzy Ibrahim Abu Ibrahim. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Welcome.
Let's start with the diplomacy. I'm guessing you welcome the move from the UK that the recognition of Palestinian statehood could just be weeks away.
Thank you for having me today. It's the right way of the long journey of giving the Palestinian their right. If to take you back, 1917, Balfour Declaration, who give the right to the Israelis.
That's the British, of course.
That is the British, of course, the Prime Minister. He gave the right to the Israelis to have a land in Palestine and create the State of Israel. And it's today, after many years, the same Prime Minister of Britain will raise up and say, yes, we will declare the State of Palestine as the right of the Palestinians. And he put conditions. Means he might withdraw his statement if the Israelis do not fulfill.
I think the British Foreign Minister has further qualified that. He has now said declaratively that they will recognize Palestinian
Definitely, he said on the General Assembly on the United Nations,
he will be very clear on that.
We hope so.
Yeah. Now, France has, of course, also said that it will do something similar in September. What difference will it make in Gaza? Is the emphasis simply on putting pressure on Israel?
You see, 28 countries, not only France and Britain, but France and Britain, because they are ultimate countries,
they're powerful
countries, and one of the 5th powerful countries in the world today, which is give more pressure to the occupation radical government, the Israeli radical government, to stand up and think, you should stop this genocide, you should stop the killing, and you should stop the hunger war against the civilians. I hope by September we will have a different dimension in this conflict, in this struggle of giving the Palestinian their right.
But of course, the meaning of a state is to have a permanent population, borders, and a government that can conduct foreign affairs. I mean, but whatever Britain or France or any other country does at the moment, that's not something that Palestine can have, is it?
For now, if you look at the two United Nations resolution, 181 and 242, which is giving the solution of two states, State of Israel and State of Palestine, on the occupation on 1967. And remind you, the occupation of 1967, not only Gaza as today, the occupation was more than beyond Gaza. It was to Al-Majdal city under Gaza as a Gaza capital. Means all the settlement around Gaza belong to the land of Gaza. This recognition, which is coming September on the National Assembly, it will be the first step of the whole world to stand up and start rebuilding the state of Palestine.
Of course, you've got 140 countries that have already recognized Palestine, but they're not quite as powerful as Britain and France.
Definitely.
But what about the West Bank? What about the settlements that are continuing there? What can be done about it?
With this radical government, Israel refuses all United Nations resolution.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is what can be done?
Well, what can be done if the Britain and France stood up and tell America, yes, we have to do changing and we have to accept the Palestinians as a nation, they put pressure in Benjamin Netanyahu if he's going to be a prime minister.
So, some have suggested imposing crippling sanctions on Israel in order to stop it, because all those settlements are in violation of international law.
They have started.
Yeah, but they're very mild sanctions at the moment.
Holland has announced Israel as a danger to the national security. And some other European countries disallowed Smotrich and Ben Gvir to enter their countries.
And what's your reaction to what the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying, which is that if Palestine is now recognized as a state by more countries and Western European powers in particular, then that is a reward for Hamas carrying out the attacks of 7th of October 2023?
If Benjamin Netanyahu say that...
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah. He has the media propaganda to change the whole world mind against the Palestinians. Hamas is part of the Palestinian human beings. As Jihad, as Fatah, as Jabha Sha'biyya, as other Palestinian groups, Hamas today tells the Americans and the Egyptians and the Qataris, come and bring a rule. We don't want to rule. We want to step. Look, October 7 has changed all the moral and thinking idea of the whole world. Israel has spent 75 years of telling the whole world they are a victim of Holocaust. They are a victim of this, they are a victim of that. And the propaganda was too much extreme, and people are supporting Israel for 75 years. October 7 has come to naked Israel and to tell the whole world the Holocaust against the Palestinians.
But there can be no justification for the attack on October the 7th. Let's be clear on that.
Let me land. The Holocaust against the Palestinians today, people has to stand and say, yes, there is a Holocaust against the Palestinians. We have 40,000 born baby child in this conflict, and we have 60,000 pregnant women are dying of hunger.
I think the world has come to that realization, maybe not in the words that you use, but
Yes,
they've
definitely.
certainly come to the realization that there are war crimes being committed in Gaza and that there is a gross violation of international law taking place there, and that the world cannot stand by and allow that to continue to happen. But of course, the way to refute all this from the Israeli point of view is to make it clear, to ensure that Hamas is not going to be part of any future political arrangements in Gaza. Is it clear that Hamas is finished politically in Gaza?
Brother, freedom fighter continue to fight to get his freedom. We are Palestinians. We shall fight to get our freedom, whether with Hamas or without Hamas. If Hamas today has stepped down and Israel has not given the right to the Palestinians, Palestinians will rise up again with a different name to fight and get the result of freedom. We need the freedom. And the whole world today realize the mistake against the Palestinians. We carry what Europeans have done to the Jews as Holocaust. We carry that one, and we welcome them for 76 years. It's a time for the world to say, yes, it's enough. And it's a time to tell the whole world, Palestinians are a human being. The humiliating against the humanity in Gaza, it's getting too much. Right. When you said you are dropping aid from air, it's a kind of a humiliating the human who are down, who have been killed.
And it's a threat. It's a risk as well.
That is,
I mean,
look,
that thing has killed people.
5,000 trucks by Rafah border through Egypt border. You can enter within an hour. Why do you use air?
Well, let's watch and see what happens going forward. But at least there is some progress. Some of the aid is trickling in, but as the UN said, a flood is needed there.
Well, the aid which is entering is just like a drop.
A drop in the ocean.
In the ocean, and not only a drop, it's just like a Panadol to a body need.
Right.
Full treatment.
Well, that's why we said what's needed there is a flood. Ramzy, Ibrahim, Abu Ibrahim, I want to thank you very much indeed for coming in. Good to talk with you. And he is...